How you doing? I'm Darren with Ash Kickin' Barbecue, and today we're talking baby back ribs. Now, grilling season and smoking season is upon us, and one of the big things people are going to be cooking is ribs, specifically baby back ribs. They're delicious. They're a little bit different than spare ribs, so let's bring you in and show you how we're going to prep and season these baby back ribs. All right, guys, so you can see here we have our baby back ribs, and truth be told, this is not the best rack of baby back ribs I've ever seen. It's a little roughed up and tore up from the butcher, but sometimes you got to take what you can get. These are still going to cook up great, and they're still going to be delicious. Now, in order to prep these, I'm going to go ahead and, like I do with a lot of my ribs, I'm just going to trim them down. This is kind of scraggly and thin. There's a shiner there. It's not going to look good. Of course, you can season this up and cook it on the pit separately, but to get a good rack of eating ribs, we want to make sure that we trim these up and have a nice presentation. So, you know, at this point, we're going to come down. I think I'm even going to take this last bone off here, just so everything's cooking evenly, like so. And then we just want to come on top, and you can see there's a little bit of silver skin up here. I'm not a big fan of that. And you can also see we got some overlap hanging. So what I want to do is I'm just going to come in, I'm going to find this little overhang, and I'm just going to trim it off. You want to be careful not to nick any bones or anything like that. We're just trimming this off for presentation purposes. Again, you can save this, add it to beans, whatever you want to do. You can see there that pretty much took off almost all that silver skin. We're just going to come in and take the rest of it off like so. And that is looking much better. You can see we have some more overlay over here. Now, my main concern with this is it's gonna burn up because this is so thin. So we're just gonna come in and just take a little bit of that off. We're not gonna go crazy. And like I said, most racks of baby backs aren't going to be this bad. This one was pretty rough for whatever reason, but that's looking a lot better. Should be a nice eating rack. Now what we want to do is get this membrane off. I like to start in the middle here. Just kind of work your hands. And then if you just pull, it'll come off. And they kind of scored right here when they were butchering it. So we got another side over here, no big deal. Just come in. You can use a paper towel if you want, or a knife, just to get it started. And we'll just come in there, grab and pull, and there we go. We have our membrane off. This rack is looking much better. Just gonna take off a few more of these little scragglers. It's looking a lot better than it was. Still looking a little rough, but that's all right. This is an eating rack, and it's gonna turn out absolutely delicious. So to season these up, I'm gonna go ahead and get my base layer down of Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub. It's just a good all-purpose rub, adds a wonderful flavor on ribs. Gonna go with a medium coat on the bottom. Press that in. Now for our other rub, we're gonna be using this Man Meat Barbecue Kansas City style rub. I have not tried it before. I've heard a lot of great things about it. So I'm gonna give it a whirl on this rack of ribs today. Go with a light coat on the bottom. It smells really good. It smells like a barbecue potato chip, which I really enjoy. Now I'm going to repeat the process on the top side. Come in with the Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub. Nice medium coat. Make sure we get our edges. Then we'll come in with the Man Meat Barbecue. So we're going to go ahead and hit our top layer with this. Make sure to get our edges. Now that we have this rack of ribs seasoned up, we're going to get the Traeger fired up. We're going to be running at 300 degrees, and we're going to be using Cookin' Pellets Hickory Pellets. The reason I chose hickory for this cook is because it's going to be a little bit shorter of a cook. The rack of ribs are not going to be in the smoke long. Hickory is a stronger smoke, and the Cookin' Pellets smoke very well at higher temperatures. So that's the reason I opted for it. These are only going to be in the smoke for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then we'll get them wrapped up and get them tender. We're looking at probably a 3.5 hour cook on here. So I'm going to get the Traeger fired up, and I will meet you outside when it's time to get these on. All right, guys, so we are out here at the Traeger. You can see the baby back ribs are looking absolutely fantastic. We have great color already. Running at 300 degrees, got the hopper loading up with the Cookin' Pellets Hickory Pellets. So we are gonna let these go for 1 hour, and then we'll come out and check on them. But we're just gonna shut it down, let it go 1 hour, come out and check and see if it needs a spritz. So we will see you in 1 hour. All right guys, so it has been 1 hour. You can see we have some great color on the ribs. Our seasoning is starting to set up a little bit. It's looking a little dry. So I'm just gonna come in and give it a spritz here with a little bit of plain warm water. You want it warm, you don't want to put cold water on your meat. So we're just gonna moisten it up. We're gonna let this go for another half hour. I'm gonna come out and spritz it again in 30 minutes. I won't bring it back for that. But yep, after 30 more minutes, I'm gonna spritz again. And then after 2 hours total on here, it should be about time to wrap. So I'll bring you back when it's time to wrap and let you know how long it's been, but looking absolutely awesome right now. We'll see you guys soon. All right guys, so it has been 1 hour and 45 minutes, and you can see we have some great color on these baby backs. We're starting to get a little bone pullback down here. These are looking great. I can touch it. None of the rubs coming off. So it is time to wrap. Like I said, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Starting to sweat a little bit. So they're looking great. I'm gonna get these inside and then I'll show you how we wrap them up. See you in the house. All right guys, so to wrap our ribs, it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna go with 3 pats of butter, just so we have a little fat in there to prevent our sugars from burning since we're cooking at a little bit higher of a temperature. So now that we got our butter in, we're gonna go ahead in with a little bit of sauce. This is the Pablo honey from Lucky 19 Sauce Co. So we're gonna use it in our wrap, and we're also going to use it when we sauce these ribs. Now we're using it in the wrap because this has everything that we're looking for in a wrap. It's got sweet, it's got a little heat, and it's gonna help with a little bit of color. So like I said, that butter is gonna help stuff from burning. We're gonna go ahead and throw that down. Then we're gonna take our ribs, and you can see they're looking great here on the bottom. We're just gonna go right on top with them. Pull off any of these black things that are coming out, the marrow that's leaking out. You can see we have some nice pullback right here. I'm guessing these are gonna be on for about 45 more minutes. We're gonna check them for tenderness after 45 minutes. So the whole cook may be 2 hours and 45 minutes, 3 hours tops, but I did temp these for those who are wondering. They're at 173 degrees. So I'm cooking to tenderness, but the temp is kind of a guideline. Usually 203 to 207 is gonna be right where you want it for tenderness. So let's go ahead and we will get these wrapped up. Nice and tight. There we go. These are gonna go on just like that, meat side down, and I'm gonna get them back out in the cooker. So we will see you in 30 minutes. All right guys, so it has been 45 minutes. Jump back in and check the tenderness on these. You can see everything's nice and melted in there. Still got good color, and this is probing like absolute butter. These ribs are done. You can see we have some awesome color right here. It's a little bit lighter, so all we're gonna do is we're just gonna flip these over, kind of make a little boat out of this, like so, just like that. And we're gonna close this down and let these just sit in there and dry out a little bit before we sauce them. You can see we got a nice bend on them, but our color is looking really nice. But yep, we're just gonna go ahead and let this dry out a little bit before we apply our sauce. So we're only gonna give it about, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes in here. Let it dry out and I will bring you back. All right guys, so it has been 3 minutes. You can see we got that color popping right back in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and get these sauced. All right guys, and to sauce these up, we're gonna come in with our Lucky 19 Pablo honey sauce. So we will just pour a little line right on our ribs here. And we're just gonna go ahead and paint them on. Just add a little bit more. And that is looking fantastic. We're gonna go ahead and let this sauce set for about 3 to 5 minutes on here, and I'll bring you back when it's done, so we will see you then. All right guys, so it has been about 3 minutes. You can see we have a beautiful glaze on these ribs, beautiful color, nice and shiny. And I apologize for the lighting. We have a little bit of a storm rolling in right now, so I'm gonna get these inside, let them rest for about 10 minutes, and then we'll slice into them for the taste test. So we will see you guys in about 10 minutes. All right guys, so we've gone ahead and let our ribs rest for about 10 minutes here. You can see they look absolutely wonderful. Nice glaze, beautiful color, nice pullback on the bones. So what I'm gonna do is just flip them over, and we're gonna slice them up. And we'll just slice individual bones for this rack. Right, and taking a look at it here, you can see we got a nice smoke ring. We got plenty of moisture in there, nice juicy rib. Feels nice and tender. Look at that juice just pouring out of there. I love to see that. This is gonna be a fantastic rib, I can tell already. So I'm gonna bring you guys out and we are going to do the taste test. All right guys, I cannot wait to try these out. See how these 3-hour ribs turned out with that sauce and that rub. They look fantastic. I'm going in for a bite. Cheers. Man, that is absolutely fantastic. We have the savoriness from the Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub. We have the sweetness from the Man Meat Barbecue Rub. We have the smokiness from the Cooking Pellets Hickory Pellets. And then we also have that nice sweet heat from our Lucky 19 sauce on there. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna clean this bone up. All right guys, and how's that for a clean bone? These are absolutely delicious at-home eating ribs. I highly recommend giving them a try. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.